So myself, Varun, I have like 6 years of experience working in data science domain, and by educational qualification, I have done masters in statistics and masters in financial engineering, and I have worked with organizations like Fiserv, which is a US based fintech, HDFC Bank. I have worked with Fractal, and currently I'm part of IBM. So mostly, and then like throughout my 6 years of career, I haven't been stick to a specific domain. I kept switching the domains. I worked for IT finance, fraud analytics. In Fractal, I was working for CPG clients, and now in pre-sales. So the trajectory has been a little roller coaster ride for me. And yeah, it's been a good learning experience, and glad being here. Thanks for inviting.
When you started, was it the financial sector that you were working in? I mean, you
Yes, correct.
started with the banks.
Yeah, it's Fiserv, so it's basically US based fintech. So it you can imagine it as a kind of a payment gateway. When you kind of swipe a card on any sort of a say a machine, you get a receipt. The gateway which is there in between the receiver's bank and the payment bank, that is, I mean, Pfizer is that kind of a payment gateway. So yeah.
Something like Pine Cone, not Pine. Is it Pine Labs? I believe Pine Labs or Razor Pay are doing something similar. Stripe.
So correct. Something similar. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's a payment gateway, and it also develops applications uh, for different clients. So it's not a data science company. It's a software development company. I was working as a like part of data science team.
Do you remember your first project?
Yeah, I do remember. So I mean, for 3 months I was on bench. Didn't get much to explore. Then suddenly, like I was assigned on four different projects, and I remember my first project was on. I mean, on the same day I got two projects. Like one was on the churn prediction, customer churn prediction, and one was on OCR. I'm talking about 2019. So that time, though, we did not have very strong OCR models,
Yep.
and we used to rely a lot on PyTesseract and stuff like that, which had like very decent accuracy. So I had to do a lot of struggle to find out research paper, find out code documentation. Even ChatGPT was not there to help, right? So things were not so straightforward. And yeah, on churn prediction, it was standard machine learning problem. So that is the journey, I would say.
I think in 2019, I remember there was a OCR, I believe Paddle OCR. Was it there in 2019? Maybe.
Uh, See, I don't exactly remember. I mean, I haven't. I did not use Paddle OCR. See, most of the times we were using PyTesseract
Okay.
because that was kind of recommended engine for us. And then we explored a couple of packages like yeah, Tabula was there, UIPDF was there in order to extract the text out of a PDF. For simple ones, we could extract it very easily. For the complex ones, like wherever you are including any sort of a handwritten text, so at that point of time, we were kind of struggling. So we thought of using something which is known as ICR, which is a kind of a deep learning upgrade of OCR. So it's known as intelligent character recognition. OCR stands for optical character recognition. We thought of looking at ICR. So ICR basically uses some sort of a pre-trained deep learning model, or it encourages you to work on your deep learning neural network, where you can train that model on some sort of a say handwritten text, and then it can predict what is the text. So it's a kind of a deep learning based approach. Yeah.
Is it handwritten text recognition, or I mean, what does it mean by ICR intelligent when you add it here?
Yeah, so wherever you are dealing with a situation where you see that there is a complex handwritten text, or it is something which cannot be read by the uh, simple or straightforward models, there you are supposed to train your kind of a model, deep learning model, in order to identify those characters. Okay, so there you can use ICR. So it leverages couple of deep learning models. Even you can train one of your own. So we kind of took inspiration from one of the GitHub repository where they had trained a deep learning model in order to identify a few characters. So we kind of drew inspiration from there. So that is the story.
Okay. Do you remember how much was the project worth at that time? In case it is not confidential.
Uh, yeah, so basically, I would say that it never landed in production, honestly speaking, because its results were too pathetic. And
PyTesseract
I
doesn't work, I
mean,
believe, at least not with a
that's
decent
true.
accuracy.
So we had used easy OCR, I believe, and in the PyTesseract itself. So, but like for simple ones, we could extract the details very easily. For even if there is a slightest complications, there were challenges. We were not able to extract the text out of like accuracy. So we had to use some sort of a cloud cognitive services, and I mean there was some other team doing that, and I mean it did that
What
project actually slipped from our hands. That's it.
what kind of complexities were there when we talk about OCR?
Yeah, so basically, see, if you have a printed text, then it has a very identifiable font, right? But when you talk about a handwritten text, then you can't control handwriting of someone who is writing on it, right?
Right.
So someone
Right.
for someone, A could be in a specific say shape. For someone, A could be written in some different shape or a different form as well. So it is very difficult for your custom model to identify those characters, especially when you are dealing with longer paragraphs. So I mean that time your accuracy goes on a toss. So that's what happened with us, and I mean that project never landed into production. So a little bitter memory of that project, I would say.
That was the
Okay.
first project, is it?
Sort of. I mean, I told you right. On same day, I got two projects. So like one was customer churn, and other was this OCR.
I think
So what was in the customer churn? Like simply you have built a model and you tried to see that how many customers based on based on some features you try to came up with how what is the percentage of customers which can be churned, or like what are the tendencies for that?
Yeah, so basically, the project was insight driven. It was not a say real time analytics or real time prediction project. So more focus or more emphasis was to understand, why customers were leaving, and the kind of client we had was a like customer union, great customer union. It's known as CCU. It's not same as bank, so it's a financial institution only, but it's not same as bank. So for them, the dynamics are different for different products. They don't have the same say product features or same offerings as banks do have. So that was a little challenge. So we had to understand nuances of business, and how these customer credit unions are handling. I would say the businesses. What are the interest rates? What are the losses? What are the loans? What is the structure? And all of these things were supposed to be studied. From that, we actually thought of kind of collecting a set of information. We kind of told them that whether this information collection or say whether getting this data is possible or not. They kind of provided many of the fields which we had asked for. Then we basically went on with the straightforward data science approach, where we have to do EDA, correlation analysis, finding out what caused actually churn, and what are the main indicators of attrition across online, offline banking, internet banking, mobile banking, on the basis of their ATM withdrawal behavior. And there are a couple of behavior indicators which we found from the data. We went on to build a machine learning model in order to identify which were the predominant ones, and so on. Yeah.
maybe I'll go back to the previous question again, to OCR, to the failed one basically. So can we call this a proof of concept, right? So maybe
Yeah, that's
was
true.
that a POC, right?
So like, yeah, that's correct. So basically, we were told that once, I mean, they had a very hardcore requirement of creating an application which could work for solving this business problem. So they had like two teams. One was ours, which was working on traditional ML and deep learning approaches, and one was the cloud cognitive team, where they were kind of using the ready-made services which were offered by clouds like AWS and Azure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, business thought that whichever team gets success, they will be kind of their approach will be finalized, and they were kind of interested in us because they thought that this is a freely developed solution. But I mean, they did not have any sort of a data set with them, so they had like only 30 or 40 odd samples with which they wanted us to train a deep learning neural network. So, I mean, it was unrealistic to expect such
Yeah.
stuff from us. So it's so weird, and I mean I could see that that was clearly a misalignment with what business always thinks that data science is a magic. and no matter whatever problem you have, it can cure anything in the world. But for that, you need to have good data. You need to have like decent amount of data. At least quality and amount is to be taken into consideration. Otherwise, though, it's like garbage in, garbage out, and that's what happened in our case. So
I think
it was deemed to be failed, but like we gave it a shot.
in any case, cloud solution will, I think, perform better than the freely available ones. What do you think?
That is obviously true. So I mean, that time we remember that there were findings that there are some specific startups in Bangalore who are specifically working on the use case which we talked about. Okay, so like the entire organization, or like most of the people from organizations, are working on the to solve OCR problems only, like handwritten character recognition and stuff like that. So I mean, you can't just expect like with just 30 odd samples you train a deep learning neural network which can handle ambiguities of any scale, and I am not sure how to put it. That's little unrealistic. So
Maybe
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I understand that since they are not the technical folks, so not to blame them. So they were kind of just, they asked us like, whether can you do it. We said that like this is a very small amount of data. Then they said that okay, I mean, you just give it a shot and then just report back to us whether it's possible or not. So for sake of that, we tried doing it, but I mean, we could not get succeeded
how
yet.
does a business decide that we have to invest in some POC and sometimes they don't? I mean, let's say uh, in your case, they decided to experiment with two POCs at the same time, and one of them luckily worked and one didn't. But in general, if I talk about any project or in any business, how does someone, maybe a leader, decides that, yeah, I want to invest in this POC, because POCs are not actually the product, I believe, or are they? I'm not sure, because at least
So basically,
when I work, I think we try to create a dummy solution, but obviously it is not production ready when it's in the POC phase, right? So how does someone decide
that's
that they
true.
have to
So
invest?
correct. So for a great, if you want to build great products, you can't directly start with taking an objective statement and start building one. So first of all, you need to check its scope, like whether it's feasible or not. So for that, you will try to do some POC or say pilots in a sense where you will try to see what is the scope, whether it's achievable or not. And then business tries to identify a few of the problem statements which they want to solve. So there is one kind of a revenue which business gets from fixed type of problems. So it's like, you are my client, and we have been giving you services for a specific product. So that is my fixed revenue. But then you are also supposed to work on something which is kind of an innovation, or you say R&D, or say you want to build a new product which can give you more and more revenue.
Right.
So for that, you need to think in different directions. That okay, so if I'm leading a generative AI vertical, what could be my possible clients? So say for example, one bank is my client. So what kind of problems they are dealing with? So bank will come to me, say that okay, we are dealing with these problems where KYC, people are forging KYCs. Even if we are doing eKYCs, there are still some fraudsters who are kind of forging it and getting escape from that. So can you help us with the solution? So okay, leader will think that okay, do we have any sort of a capability to handle this? Do we have deep learning experts? Do we have GenAI experts? So if the answer is yes, then they will basically think that okay, so we can basically spend some time in order to work on this POC. So they will ask bank to give the official problem statement with along with some sort of a data, and then they will give teams a okay, you have like 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, I'm just giving an example, not 2 or 3 weeks specifically, but like
Yeah.
a specific amount of time in which you can just accomplish a basic set of, say, outputs. Meaning that for simple images, can you identify whether this person is cheating or not? Then we can maybe scale that problem to a different level. So we will try to catch low hanging fruits first, and then we can maybe think of a bigger picture. So that's how they try to scale up. Once bank likes that solution, I mean your client likes that solution, then basically it could be officially onboarded as a kind of a, say, project or full-time product as such. So product development starts from there. So in order to understand that, you need to work on POC at least, or say any sort of a pilot at least. So that's how you start with investing in those things.
Do we get paid for building these POCs, or are they generally free?
So sometimes, I mean, like for some POCs where I've worked with for different clients, we were kind of paid. But that has to be discussed at the time of initialization only. So sometimes client is interested in working on some POC. It's not just the say vendor who is interested in order to solve a business problem, but sometimes client is like, okay, now I'm working on this specific product. I want to identify the key drivers, and then they come to you say that this is the data which we have. What kind of results can we expect from this POC? Then maybe your leaders will discuss that considering the quality of the data and kind of your expectation. This is the what you say results which we can deliver. So then we start inspecting the data, work and build on models, and then basically try to see, are we able to achieve that objective statement or not. So not all the POCs work, many of them fail, but that's the only way to understand. And businesses are entirely fine with not I mean these POCs not working out in production, or say not working out in real time. The reason is they have some fixed revenue coming up, and even if 10 POCs fail and two POCs strike, and if they get converted into a full-time projects, then also business earns a lot from them. So I mean, it's kind of an R&D, and for R&D you always expect that not all the things are going with uh, your assumption, or with your kind of uh, opinion. So that failure is going to come. But even if something strikes, then it might be a huge opportunity for business, and that's what businesses identify.
Recently, a report came from MIT that 95% of Gen
95%
AI
of the
projects are failing. Okay. And then everyone realized, okay, AI can be a bubble right now. So, are you talking about the same thing that most of the POCs, even if we are building, not working?
No, no. So no, no. So basically, the one which you are talking about is specifically for AI. I'm talking about general POCs. So it may not be needed, required or related with AI. It could be a basic analytics POC. It could be basic machine learning based POC. So there could be a couple of reasons why any POC might fail. First is you might set some unrealistic expectation. Okay. Second is like, even if you have a good alignment with say what expectation you have, what objective you are want to achieve, and what timelines you have, how to work around that particular method, but data quality might be really poor.
Yeah.
So even that could happen. I mean, you can give me a data set which contains 1 lakh records and say 1,000 columns, and someone might say that, okay, this is a ample of data. But the point is, if data doesn't contain any juice, okay, so for example, if you want to predict some sort of a churn, or if you want to predict a fraud, and if you don't have any indicators which can, lead to identification of this fraud, so and you are just giving me some xyz other variables, then it does not make sense. So then what happens is sometimes we also give recommendations to business that before building machine learning model, work on data engineering. So even from these POCs, these could be insights, and these are really valuable insights. Not all the times, you will be evaluating success of your POC. Sometimes you will be also looking at the actionable items. So then we will be saying that, okay, you could have collected this data across this time horizon, and you can store that data inside this some tables that could be utilized further, because this could be good indicator. Okay, so then they might think that, okay, so we might have to improve our data engineering practices, so they will work in those directions rather than just working on building machine learning models, because data science is simply garbage in machine learning is simply garbage in, garbage out.
I think in that case, they are essentially taking a bet on 10 projects, and they try to figure out if any of them work. It's a win-win situation.
That's true. That's true. So there is some budget allocated for R&D and stuff, because I told you, right, there is a fixed revenue which is coming from the standard set of projects and standard set of offerings which have been going on since years. So like I have worked for the organization where we had a client for which we were delivering marketing mix modeling since last 6 years. So that was a fixed revenue. Every quarter they used to renew that particular
Service.
contract, and they
Yeah.
used to give us different product. And I mean, everything will be same, just that you are supposed to work on marketing mix modeling. So that was a fixed client for us, and so there is a fixed revenue coming from them. But company also needs to identify some of the opportunities from where they can get new revenue streams. So for that, they allocate some sort of budget to R&D, and that's where these people come into picture, where they deliver POCs and see whether it's working or not.
But then, how do you determine the ROI on any project? So, for example, I am building something, and how do I determine that? Yeah, I'm going to get this much return on if I invest something here. How does this work?
Honestly speaking, that is like a senior level decision, and there could be a couple of factors which are behind this particular execution. So first thing is they might be having, they want to try and test out some of the hypothesis, and they are very interested because that hypothesis is kind of affecting to some other study or other project. Okay, and they want to figure out like, can this be a reason why this other product is losing its share? Okay, that could be one of the reasons. So they are highly interested in watching out, what could be the result of this POC. Then basically, if I want to see like when to invest in a particular POC, so it goes along with say some sort of a study and research. So they might think that okay, this is a new AI product or this is a new problem statement which has a potential, which has a like good market, and there are many competitors in the market who are working on in order to develop a similar solution. Now, since you have a better repo with the client, there are high chances that if you are able to develop this solution, if you are able to address like customers pain point, then there are high chances that they might give you the entire say revenue for that particular project instead of giving it to your competitors. So that could be one of the identification areas. So like senior leaders kind of identify such opportunities for different clients. They
Okay.
try to ask them, what are your pain points, tell us about your pain points, and we'll try to see if we can deliver or say think of any solutions regarding this.
I think in last few years, maybe around 4 to 5 years, you were more into implementation side of the project, right? Why
Correct.
why did you switch into pre-sales? Is it because you have gained more years of experience, or you wanted to explore?
Honestly speaking, you might call it little immature, but I had a thought behind it. So basically, I have worked extensively on ML core implementation development side, right? Somewhere I was thinking that AI and its kind of rise in automation might hamper data scientist profile, and they will not eat the jobs. That is a wrong word I would say, a wrong phrase I would say, but I am kind of sure that that is going to transform the nature of the jobs for a data scientist at
Correct.
least. So that's why I thought of looking at a niche segment where I can get some understanding on how data science solution discovery phase, or how like revenue or monetary dynamics behind designing data science projects or designing POCs work, so that I can also get some sort of a monetary understanding. At the end, I believe that if you are able to drive revenue, then you are relevant. If you are not able to drive revenue, then basically you are of no use, no matter how genius you are, right? So I thought that if I have that kind of an understanding, that okay, if I get some understanding on say revenue or say monetary side of any data science, then maybe I will add some like few a unique skill in my kind of resume, which is way different from learning say 10 new softwares which might not be required tomorrow. So I thought that this is a skill which will help me in a longer term, because if I get that understanding of business, on how to decide problem statements or how to interact with clients, how to sell them the solutions, then this is a different area. And meanwhile doing that, I also made sure that this is not something where I'm just losing my touch with data science. So
Right.
I'm also working on developing data science products, data science POCs, but like emphasis is more on say customer engagement or say sales, doing presentations and stuff like that. So this is I thought that this is a little unique skill which AI might not touch at this point of time. So my profile will stay relevant, and that was the reason to switch into sales.
Okay. Before we talk about more on AI pre-sales, so just explain what AI pre-sales is and what you are doing at your current profile right.
Yeah, so pre-sales, as the name suggests, it's like just before sale of any product. So you have a product, say product A, in your portfolio, or say that is what your company is kind of selling to clients. So in product A, there are different offerings. One could be cognitive services, one could be platform-based services, one could be, I mean, SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, like that particular setup you have across different products. So you have to identify first of all customers. So it could be BFSI, it could be healthcare, it could be pharma. And then once you identify those customers, you have to meet them, you have to ask them what are your pain points. So they might say that we are struggling where we are we want to build a chatbot where it can help our internal employees. So that could be called as a discovery. So in discovery, you basically try to identify what customers' pain points are and how it can be matched with whatever offerings we are giving. So it could be a platform-based offering, it could be a solution-based offering, it could be anything. I mean, in our from our deck or from our product suite, right? Yeah.
How do you decide the worth of any AI project? So let's say I'm trying to build a chatbot for my client. How do I decide how much is it going to worth? I mean, from monetary point of view.
Yeah. So okay. So see, I mean, for that you have to identify different revenue metrics, and some of the metrics could be technical, and some of the metrics could be business driven.
Okay.
So it could be like, you can measure some business related metrics, like how your customer engagement score has been improved, or how your customer feedback has been improved if you have introduced a specific chatbot, how many number of escalations you are able to see to a specific human which is there sitting on the inquiry counter before chatbot introduction and after chatbot introduction. So these are some of the, say, business driven matrices. Technical matrices could be, how accurate that bot is, what is the latency, what are the costs involved in that, and how you are getting the results. So for example, if that bot is able to handle like a lot many complex queries, and you are supposed to like allocate like 10 or 15 employees in order to take care of that inquiry center, but now because of your chatbot, like those 10 and 15 effort is basically saved. So basically that could be one of the business metric. So there is combination of both, like technical metrics and as well as the business metrics, in order to justify or in order to understand the success of a POC or project.
What is the distribution of them? Are technical metrics more important than business, or at the end business metrics are on the top?
See, at the end, business metrics will always stay on the top, because I mean that is what business wants, right? Business
Correct.
doesn't care if your p value is less than 0.05 or not. Business will say that, okay, if it is giving us good profits, or even if your p value is like zero point 0.1, and we'll still accept the null hypothesis. We don't care. So I mean, they are chasing revenues, right? They are not chasing uh, techniques as such. But obviously, technical accuracy matters. But because our data distribution or serial data is very noisy in nature, so sometimes your bookish methods might fail. So you have to go and look for the out of box methods or non-conventional solutions in order to drive the business metrics. So that is something which a good data scientist knows how to do and how to work upon it.
Talking about the revenue you mentioned, have you seen examples where AI has been able to increase the revenue of the business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. So basically, I mean, like the most straightforward example which I have seen in my life is automation, AI automation. So, like, where you are building an AI agentic system, or say agentic AI system, where it is kind of automating some sort of, say, tickets. So for example, if an employee wants to raise a ticket, so earlier it was like a straightforward process where you are supposed to raise a ticket in that portal, when it will be get, I mean, there will be some guy who is sitting behind the screens. He will be kind of taking your ticket, assigning to some sort of a team. Then that ticket will be taken care of by that particular team, and there will be a tat. So it was a conventional process, right? So once AI came into picture, I saw a system where, when a user raises that particular ticket, AI, the kind of system handles it by itself. So it assigns the ticket to the correct team. It basically pings that person on Slack regarding a specific problem and the description his user is mentioning, and also monitor if the kind of execution or if the resolution is occurring in time or not. So for example, if in 2 days if that employee is not able to deliver the solution to whoever has raised complaint, then it will basically escalate that particular issue and write a mail to his manager along with that particular complainant and that associate who is handling this case, in order to do some a better solution or better, faster resolution. Entire automated system was kind of driving business revenue because it saved a lot of human intervention in between. I mean, it did not eliminate the human intervention 100%, but it saved a lot of human efforts in between. So earlier, if you were required to put like 20 people in order to handle these cases, now it has just came down to 5 people who are just monitoring if AI is doing its work correctly or not. So that is how, I mean, business is able to like get some good results out of.
In that case, do you think is this the sector that is being affected the most with the AI, the customer support?
That's true. No, it's not just about customer support. So you name any sort of a mundane task which has some sort of a pattern, which could be automated with some sort of a system which understands little information about it. For the pieces, like for example, customer engagement, there you can't there you don't see a specific pattern, right? If I speak like these two sentences, customer is going to buy my product, it's not going to happen, right? So you have to speak a lot, you have to play a lot of games to convince your customer to buy our product. So that depends on a lot many factors. So this is something where you can't see a basic pattern.
I had a very
But
interesting experience a few days back. I attended a meetup in Delhi NCR, and a guy who was accountant from last 20 to 30 years. He is into accounting industry majorly. He used AI. He built a tool that automatically takes invoice and gets the data out of it. It creates a entry in the Excel file, and then it writes the data into the Zoho bookkeeping service, I believe. So he created this entire solution using AI tools, Cursor majorly, maybe, right? Now it raises a question: if an non-technical person can do something similar, do you think there's going to be decline in the demand of IT guys? Because he does not come from a technology domain. He spent last maybe 7 to 10 days max, and he built an entire solution using AI, coming from a non-technical background. Do you think it is going
Yeah.
to affect the IT industry? The non-technical people start using AI to build something on their own.
See, that's what I was saying. Ki, like this is a mundane task, right? So if I tell that kind of invoice which that person was kind of ingesting in his system, if that invoice had little bit challenges, meaning that there is some complex patterns, then this solution was not supposed to be easily built, right?
Right.
He was working on something which was very trivial, which was very kind of, I would say, vanilla in nature. So that is something which AI tool could take care of, and that is what I refer to as mundane jobs, so or mundane work. So whatever mundane work people are doing, or whatever mundane processes which are going on in the market, obviously those will be kind of automated with this by this tech guys or non-tech guys. But apart from that, if the process contains several challenges, then basically you will again require developers in order to integrate the pieces and create the full-fledged solution. So I mean, wherever you include that mundane task item, that could be taken care by anyone. I'm glad that you met a person who has delivered the solution single-handedly. Uh, so I mean, that is little scary in nature, but I honestly feel that he was working on a mundane activity. I mean, all credits to him. I'm not trying to
Yeah, yeah.
take credits from him, but I'm trying to say is wherever you spot any mundane activity, is going to eat that thing. Where you see there
when
is a challenging activity, there you require a lot of stuff to still take care of.
yeah,
Yeah, good.
when you try to sell AI solutions to non-technical people, because most of the time you are going to meet the executive level person, and they may not be from technical background. They may be, but most of the time they won't be. So, what strategies you use basically to sell your solutions, and how your data science knowledge comes in that uh, work, and actually did you have to learn sales skills somewhat for that?
Okay, so like there are too many questions I would like to answer. Like first question first. So
Okay.
like yeah, you said correctly. Like we deal with a lot of people who do not understand anything about data science or machine learning. They are just fascinated with this word which is known as AI. They are like AI is solution to everything. Okay, but they don't understand how AI operates and what AI does actually in the behind the scenes. They are kind of fascinated and they are like, okay, you are data science folks, you must be able to solve our problem, right? No matter how much pathetic data we have, or even if you have don't if we don't have any data, still you will be able to solve our problem because you're data scientist people, right? You're AI people, and AI is able to solve every problem in the world, because that is the general impression. So in that case, yeah, as I told before as well, like there are two type of metrics. One is technical metric, other is the business metric. So business metric, I mean, whenever we are speaking to these kind of people, if you say that, my model can help you to achieve 92% of accuracy instead of 85% accuracy, it may not strike that person, because improving accuracy may not mean increase in usefulness. Accuracy is not equivalent to usefulness. Okay, I mean, that is a kind of a statement which I kind of learned throughout my experience. No matter how good your metrics are, if they are not helping to drive business growth, and that does not mean that my if my model is 98% accurate, that means my business will be growing. If you are picking up an incorrect problem statement, or if you are digressing from the actual issue and you are predicting something else, no matter even if your solution is 100% accurate, is not going to boost your business, right? So there are two type of metrics. One is business metric, other is technical metric. So whenever we are speaking with technical folks, we talk about latency, we talk about through output, we talk about overall, say, execution of the data science pipeline and stuff like that. Whenever we are speaking with business people, obviously we mention these pointers, because that is something which we are supposed to speak as kind of feature of the product or feature of the platform. But along with that, we also speak about business metrics. So what could be the business metrics? It could be like, at this point of time, you have a people, like team of 20 people who is working on this particular ticket assignment. Okay, once you develop a chatbot, it could be taken care by only 5 people who are just here to monitor whether AI is doing their work or not. This will be the cost. So you, for every every single day of operation, you will be encouraging, or say you will be incurring some sort of a 100 rupees per cost. And prior you were investing like, say, 1,000 rupees into that, and that was also coming with some sort of a loopholes, because humans were working in that system. There were few errors, there were a few issues which humans were not able to handle. AI is taking care of all of them in an automated manner. So earlier you were spending 1,000 rupees, now you are supposed to spend 100 rupees, and that is how it can help you. So like we are kind of telling these people in terms of business metrics. So there are different business metrics. One could be improving engagement, other could be like reduction in, say, or say reduction in the human effort, and AI replacing that human effort. So we have to quantify these kind of metrics based on our sample or, say, pilot study, and then we can just present these outcomes in front of these people, so because they're interested in knowing about that factor.
When you try to sell AI solutions, okay, so most of them would be big companies, right? But when it comes to small companies, like they are having annual revenue less than 100 crores a year, okay. So how can you actually sell products to them? Because at the end, they don't have much money to spend on R&D, right? So, or maybe the data is not that good. So do you also came across a case where you have to sell to these small companies, and what kind of solutions they can actually buy to improve their basically revenue or net? Yeah.
Sure. So basically, see, whenever any company hires some person for pre-sales, they don't have a single product to be sold. Okay, they have tier of products. One could be a big platform, which could be required for any organization who has established data science practice. One could be a single, model, selling a simple model. One could be selling a simple solution. One could be selling a simple infrastructure. It could be across different requirements, right? And usually they have all the features. Like one could be like that product could be sold in isolation, meaning that if I'm just selling the model, I'm not selling anything else. I'm just selling a single solution, nothing else. What do you bundled pack? Like you can buy a platform, along with that you will get customer support, along with that you will get model, along with that you will get XYZ things. Okay. So first of all, when we visit such kind of customers, we try to identify what are their pain points. Okay, and we try to kind of, okay, so this could be a very big potential solution which could be required for this client, but we know that this person is not able to spend that much money because of some constraints. So we start with some low hanging fruits. We could sell them a very basic product. We can tell them that, okay, this could help you to solve this basic problem. You can get started with this. Once we kind of engage with them, slowly we start convincing them through kind of product quality or say customer support, that we are kind of your partners, and the quality of product is top notch, then you may think of investing a little bigger in our product. So it starts with low hanging fruits, and then we try to keep scaling that. And it's not like that it will happen overnight. You have to spend years in order to do such transactions. It depends on your repo as well. So pre-sales is not just about being an excellent data scientist. It also depends a lot on how good you are, a kind of a salesperson you are. So basically, if you have a repo with the client, then there are chances that client might get convinced with your approach.
Okay. Yeah. When I started my college, okay, so there were different departments in different cultural or different societies. Okay. It doesn't matter you are joining Google Developers Club or Microsoft Learning Student Investors. There could be different departments. So two departments which I never liked. One was marketing, and other one was sales. Okay. I never liked. I don't know why. So in the beginning, but as I joined the company and I started working, the more I talk to people, I realized that sales and marketing is very important, and these are some of the skills
That's true.
like that actually uh, taking the company or actually the life of any company are
Exactly.
basically sales and marketing, right? It doesn't
Exactly.
matter how good we call ourselves that we are technicians or we are from IT, but we are at the end we would always be like kind of a supporting role for the business, right? And sales and
Exactly.
marketing are basically getting money for the company, right? So
Yeah, you have made a very correct point. Sorry to stop you in between. So I just wanted to include a few thoughts on this. So I would say that if you are saying that my company develops a marketing mix modeling solution, okay, customers will say that okay, we have 1,000 other competitors who are working on the similar product. They also have the similar price ranges. Okay, so you know what differentiates you. So whenever such kind of conversations happen, na, their sales and marketing comes in picture. If they are able to convince the client that how reliable you can think of us, that will give you the best customer support, we can give you these pieces, we can give you that specific privileges, and that's where they try to buy your product. If your sales team is really bad, then no matter, even if you have a data scientist coming from IIT or even coming from Mars, your company will never see the growth, because you have some front end who is going to sell that solution, who is going to convince that people that okay, trust on us and we will give you the best results. So if that person is pathetic, then no matter how good you are as a technical expert, your company is not going to see any growth, unless you're not Google or Amazon. That is a different story.
I had this question with a guy yesterday. He mentioned about voice AI startups these days. So he told me that maybe all the new voice AI startups have the same model running at the back end. Now, how are they going to sell their services? Because at the end they are using the same model. How do they differentiate? There's no moat in the voice AI companies. Let's say if you have to run a voice AI company now, what would that differentiator be if not the model?
Okay. So see, there could be different differentiators. So one could be price, obviously. If you are kind of a company who has recently raised some funding, and you can afford to burn some cash in order to gain some sort of a market space, you can offer your product at little cheaper prices. So price could be one of the major differentiator. Second, I believe, is the quality of the product. Since I believe that quality of the product is going to stay same across all the competitors, so that may not be a very good differentiator, although you can include few little nuances or few additional features in your product which differentiates your product from others. Let it be an like overall theme be the same, but you can still add some smaller perks or smaller features into that particular product. That could be a differentiator. Third thing could be a good customer support, because that is one of the which clients heavily ask for. You might give a good product or you might sell a good solution, but after getting into their ecosystem, it might fail. Okay, so there are like lot many tech restrictions. There might be issues with the networking policies, firewalls, and so on. So in order to get rid of these issues, they would like to have a good customer support. So you can be a differentiator with respect to your customer support. So that is one of the best, I would say, selling differentiator. If you have a really good customer support, and if you have a team who can support them at any time, giving them resolutions or solutions in no time, then basically they are happy to trust on you, even if you are charging little premium. So like these are the three differentiators which I can think can make any product competing in the same space unique.
In your 5 to 6 years of career, okay, you would have some weird interactions with your clients. So can you tell any of the interaction that you felt like you should run away from here or something?
See, I met a client in my first or second organization. I won't be very specific here. I mean, I don't want to
Yeah.
call out someone, but I would be very generic in nature. So I had this experience where, I was, I mean, our team was asked to develop a deep learning algorithm, and that person, I mean, he was an internal team member only. He was kind of our client, so we were working for internal team only, and he was our
Okay.
client. He was kind of awarded as like AI pioneers of some sort of a 2019, 2021, something like that. And he had his name written on every sort of magazine and stuff like that. So when he got into our in the interaction, we thought that it will be a really insightful interaction, and we would be able to learn a lot many things from him. Obviously, he was an excellent business leader, but when it came to AI, he was kind of an AI champion as per the magazine reports. We actually asked him that, okay, the kind of solution you want us to develop would require a lot of amount of data, okay, and that's not what you are providing to us. We will not be able to develop deep learning models. So that person actually in a serious tone told us that, you are not required to do a deep level learning. You can just to do a shallow level learning. And then we were quite of amazed, like, okay, this guy is an AI champion and he does not understand what does deep learning means. It's not about deeply learning some algorithm. He just told us that, okay, you are not supposed to do a deep level learning. You can do a basic level learning, and that's fine. For deep level learning, you might require something more, but like basic. And then we just opened the magazine where his name was published. AI leader. He sees how AI can transform the businesses and landscapes and stuff like that. And we couldn't control our laughter. So that was like one of the weirdest experiences, and that is where I understood that, even if you don't know anything about AI, but you are an excellent storyteller, excellent communicator, still you can scale in the industry for some instances, not all the times. But that was like a really funny incident, and that was one of the experience. Like, and then one of the experiences I could imagine that I'm not imagine. I experienced this particular stuff where you know one of the client actually asked us to deliver a model which had having like around 96% accuracy. He told us to deliver a model. He said that, we will not like to get a model which has lesser than 95% accuracy. This is a very simple problem, and we thought that, okay, it might be really as simple as what he's saying. We started exploring. We basically built a very basic model. We thought that let's just see how data is, and structure like that. And we got our adjusted R square to be around 36%. And that was like a huge shock for us. We thought that, we are like pathetic data scientists. We don't know anything about data science. Senior people got involved in that discussion. Many talented data scientists got into that discussion. And earlier we thought that we are useless people. We don't know, but these people might give us the solution. We all kind of scratched our heads. And then slowly we kind of reached to an inference that, getting a 95% accuracy from the available data was not at all possible, because data did not have any correlation or any sort of an indicator, or say any sort of juice which can explain variation in the response. It was a very simple stuff. So it was like that was a really weird requirement. So in order to face the client, we were in a 2 days meeting where we were just preparing the deck, where we can explain them how they can improve their data engineering practices, why this model can't be worked upon, why this specific features does not make sense. So that is something which we are focusing on. We actually presented that stuff. These you gave us these particular data points, and these data points does not contain any sort of variation which can explain response. and that's why it might not be a good choice. So instead of this, we can shift our objective statement in order to predict this particular stuff. So client was not really happy. He thought that this is a very reputed company, and we could do any magic. But then again, we kind of created a very big what you say image, where it said that in machine learning, there is no magic. Actually, it's garbage in, garbage out. So basically, if you give us the garbage, we are not magician who can create a beautiful artifact out of it. It has to be the garbage
So
only.
so you
Obviously, we
had
are
you
supposed to work
so
on the best out of it.
so you had to create a big image in the PPT to actually tell this.
Yeah, because people have unrealistic expectations. We have dealt with some of the clients who are technical in nature. Okay, so they used to correct us that, okay, why are you running a random forest? We want to see this model, and their expectations were really correct. So working with these clients was really easy because they knew what is the product and what expectations they should have. But like these people were unbelievable. I mean, they used to just hit with a random bow, and they ask us to uh, give them a perfect solution, which was not at all possible. So I mean, that kind of disappointed them a lot, many times. But yeah, that is the reality. I mean, you need to set your expectations correctly, otherwise, so with the kind of quality of data you provide, it may not be reasonable to expect such sort of outcomes. So that is one of the things which client needs to understand, that we are not magicians, first of all.
In my short span of career, I'm coming across the requests that people or stakeholders ask me that I need these things. Okay. And in the beginning, I say, okay, yeah, sure, that will be done. They are coming experienced as like 30 years of experience, 20 years of experience, 5 years of experience, and they are coming that I need these things, and it's their department. Okay, so I'm sure that they know their things, how the business process works and all, how the operations work. So I say that okay, I will do that. Then when I actually then when I'm actually trying to do these things, I got to know that the business process doesn't exist for these things. And then I had to tell them that I cannot do it, and then again they came up with, so let's make a process, and then you would be able to do it.
That's true. Exactly. This is true with many of the clients who really think that we are kind of some sort of a magician who can produce result out of anything. But it's not like that. For that, you need to have some sort of a standardization. And if you are just expecting anything, and if you are going to blame it on data scientists, data analysts, or data engineers, then it does not make sense, honestly speaking.
I'm
So that is
having
something
one
which
such
they need to
experience
understand.
where we do not have any standard, but they want to just get the data out of the Excel file and put it into the data model. Now, there is no standard, there are no fixed structure of Excel that is coming in. I'm not sure how we'll be able to do that, but yes, it is coming in.
So sometimes we have, so like some of the times when I started my career, I used to be very impatient, and I used to start uh, uh, ranting out, that meaning that venting out, like these people don't understand anything, how can we develop the solutions. That time my manager used to calm me. He used to tell me that, okay, see, first of all, we are not supposed to deliver exactly 100% what they're asking from us. Okay, first of all, we will tell them what we can do out of this problem statement. If they want us to do entire Excel automation, we'll tell them that because there is no standard or consistency across this entire format, it is difficult to deliver such results. But out of all these 10 Excel files, maybe I can identify 2 Excel files for which patterns are standard. Okay, and I can just tell them that for this segment I can deliver a solution. Then maybe I can give you a format in which you can standardize all the other 8 files as well, and then we can scale this product to like delivering automation across 10 projects. So you can't directly say that no to more like all of the projects, because even your reputation is at stake. So you have to identify the areas where you can deliver the solution, at least areas where you can deliver partial solutions, so that you can at least tell the client that, okay, this is something which is doable. It's not that entire thing is not doable. Obviously it works in some of the cases, not all the cases, but wherever it works, it's your job to identify for which segments at least you can deliver a basic solution. If that is doable, do that. Inform your client about that, and then propose some new kind of methodology in order to collect the data, or in order to standardize the process, and work or scale your approach on the remaining segments as well. So that could be a good solution. That is what my manager told me, and it stayed with me
Yeah,
since long. So that is something which I kind of adopted over the years.
I am someone who is building a product now. I have zero idea about how do I sell this product to someone. Now, first question would be, how do I get the clients? Let's say I'm not an enterprise. I'm maybe let's take a scenario. First is when I am enterprise, then I have two choices. First, I already have some existing customer where I can propose this solution. Other would be getting a new customer to whom I want to sell this. Right. First question would be regarding how do I sell this in the enterprise, the new product that I have built. Second is, let's say I'm not an enterprise, but just a student, maybe a fresher, maybe someone who just built that, maybe a startup, let's say, right? Now, how does a startup find its client? I'm not sure if it is this is the right question for you, but I think regarding enterprises, you can answer this.
Sure. So see, I would say that finding out new clients is never an easy task, because there has to be some rapport which is to be built between you and client. Then only they are going to make such huge deals with you. So in order to build some rapport, you have to again do some basic POCs. You have to offer them some sort of benefits. But if you want to target the most effective people who are going to buy your who will be more likely to buy your product, those will be your existing customers. Okay, so networking plays a lot of role. So like these pre-sales companies have, say for example, I'm running an AI solution. Okay,
Right.
and then there is one of associate of mine who has been working on some automation solution, or he has been selling some sort of a software development solution. Through his contact, I will just try to see if I can get some sort of a, say, Spock information who is handling the AI projects. And through his mediation, I would be able to reach at him. I would be able to propose my entire solution and methodology to that particular person. And there are high chances, since the point is that mediator is there, and his kind of service has already established a good stature, or it has made a good rapport with that particular client. They will be able to kind of trust with my AI solution as well. There are high chances of doing that,
Right.
instead of going to a new client and asking them to invest in your idea when your idea is not that unique. So not all the times you are going to come up with an idea which is as good as Google or Amazon, right? It could be a very basic idea which could be practiced by 10 other competitors as well, who are selling the solutions at same price of yours. There are no really good differentiators. So at that time, working with new clients could be little hefty. Instead of that, you can target the existing client base, and there are high chances that they can purchase your product because you have a good rapport with them. So that could be one of the approach. So referral networking is one of the kind of important I would say step, which is most of the times used in this pre-sales domain or activities. So that is one of the step. For if you want to say look for a startup who is planning to sell their solutions. So first of all, you need to have some people who can understand what is the market. Okay, in a simple space, like who are the competitors, which are the different companies who are looking for such kind of solutions, or who will be requiring this solution. So if you are building a manufacturing solution, you will be obviously looking at some companies who are kind of in kind of process to build such sort of a products. So it could be like large scale companies, it could be small scale companies as of yours. So you have to identify those potential clients. You have to do some market research, you do some market study,
Right.
then try to approach these particular companies again through some sort of referral. Then there are high chances that you might end up securing that deal. But again, I mean, I would say that referral and networking plays a very crucial part in any of the pre-sales. It can happen only in picture where, or say web series where they are just going in front of stakeholder, and they are saying that you invest 2 million in our company and we will give you excellent results. There's a emotional background music plays in the background, and that person says that okay, we will give you the deal. that that usually does not happen with reality. And along with that, if your product idea is really unique, then basically you even encounter such situation. But if you are working in a very plain or generic product where you're offering machine learning or AI services as of like all the companies in the market are offering with little differentiators, then obviously networking plays a important role. So if you have some contacts, there are high chances that you will secure the deal.
Do you attend
Okay.
meetups?
That's the yeah, I do that.
And do you think it helps in your current role into pre-sales, or you used to do that before?
So, like, I have joined this organization just like this will be my third month, so it's not like a long exposure with this sales role.
Right.
So, after joining this organization, I have two mid events, but I'm still in very nascent stage. So, I mean, kind of a newborn baby in this field. So, everywhere I follow my manager, he kind of communicates with people. I basically echo him. I'm trying to learn, how to speak with the stakeholders. Sometimes I do take these things up on me, but the point is, most of the times I'm just learning, like, how to speak with the stakeholders, how to convince them to buy your solution and stuff like that. But I definitely, coming to your question, I definitely think that meetups or say any networking event is kind of a golden opportunity. Whether you are a student, whether you're a pre-sales person, whether you are any tech professional, any sort of meetup is going to give you a lot many new connections. It might give you new ideas. It might give you new collaborations, or might give you some people who are working or willing to work on a similar idea as of yours. You might think of collaborating. You might find some new partners. So, like meetup events are really great. Only if you are, you are working in a good kind of a circle. If that circle is just time pass wala circle, then it is not going to help. But if you are looking for serious people and that meetup is happening, then basically it is going to help you a lot.
Right.
You might not
Uh,
see a direct results at that point of time, but indirect results would be there.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I remember our last
I
discussion on, I think, when we connected last time, regarding some RFPs and how you started spending more time with that. Maybe can you take us through the process of how does a technology sells in case of government clients, or maybe some private vendors also? Let's say I'm new to this field. I recently switched my career from technology to pre-sales. Now I can see there are a lot of many things that the company works on other than actually building the product, and that you mentioned, like building RFPs, writing responses to that. What all things are involved in that process?
Okay, so like as I said that a client discovery is one of the phase, like where you are identifying all the clients, where you are conducting some sort of workshops at their place. You are trying to understand what are their pain points. Then you are coming back to your organization, having interactions with your managers in order to understand what could be the potential solution which you can offer to them, how your platform fits to their particular requirement.
Right.
So like going via this discovery session could be one of the way. There could be another way where bank is publishing an advertisement, or say government institution or private vendor is publishing an advertisement that we want to hire, or say we want to give a contract to a player who can give us this platform services, or who can give us this product services. So they have a specific set of document, okay, where they have mentioned like they want to do this activity in say next 2 months. The initial cost of say deposit would be around 10 lakhs or 15 lakhs.
Right.
They want to hire at least 10 people, along with the full stack support, along with the for network support, along with the security support, and so on. Then they define some criteria about application development, like app downtime, app responses, how quick it should be, what are the permissible delays they can accept, and what is the tolerance level. So they define lot many criteria. So like there will be hundreds of criteria, and then you have to craft your proposal with respect to those criteria. So you have to identify each and everything. So they might say that you don't want to use an enterprise based model, you want to use an open source model. So that could be one of the ideas. So if you are thinking of using an open AI model, that idea will be scrapped. So you are supposed to use any sort of a meta based model, or say any sort of other open source model. They might come up with one more restriction saying that we want to use models which are less than 10 billion. Then again, you are going to filter your choices. So you have to identify all these parameters, and then you have to craft your document according to that. So in your document you will be specifying that this is my service, this is my product, this is my platform, this is the best configuration I'm kind of asking you to buy. It could be like a 4,000 core based product, or say I would expect them to buy 200 GPUs at this particular cost in order to work on this solution. So I would be like kind of mentioning my responses with respect to all these conditions, meaning that I have this team of 10 data scientists. I can offer them a network support. I can offer them a solution which has the downtime less than say 5%, something like that. Okay, I can offer them GPUs at this cost. I can offer them open source models which has less than 10 billion parameters. We can use these models which are supported by our platform, or which could be supported by our model solution. So this is the way we are supposed to craft that entire response. What are the possible timelines in which we are supposed to complete that project? What is our kind of bid? Bid is something which is very important because it's kind of a contract based system where they will say that we want to get it done in say 10 rupees. What
Mhm.
are your estimates? Then someone who says that we will deliver it in lesser cost but with higher efficiency, then basically they will be giving that project to that particular enterprise or that particular person. Okay, so I mean that also plays in comes in picture. So you need to identify and learn about your competitors, like what kind of possible bidding they could do in order to fetch that particular solution. What are their differentiators with respect to your products? And sometimes you have to also paint your story with some different colors, meaning that you know that client has requirements of GPUs. Your competitor is kind of offering them in a better price. So at that time you have to kind of write your narrative in such a way where you are saying that no matter if they are providing GPUs, we can offer you this particular other stuff. Okay, so you have to consider us. I mean, you have to write that entire pitch in a professional tone as per their requirements. So these are like two ways. One is that through the discovery way, where you identify what are the pain points, and then you propose to them that okay, this could be potential solution which you can think of working.
Right.
We can give you a basic demo. And second could be that organizations have a specific need for that particular contract, where you can come up with your own proposal.
How do you get information about the competitors?
As pre-sales people, see, it's not about like the information which you are thinking. So it's not about insider information. It's
Yeah.
generally about like company's product, their pricing tiers. So like that information is generally accessible. It's not like extremely sensitive. And here we are not talking about any malpractices as such, like go to their camp, try to find out what product they are thinking of, and we will try to copy that. That is not what I'm saying by that. It's like generally
Yep.
available products. So you can see that their products are available on some enterprise, or say on they are already selling their products in some sort of organization with this much pricing. There is nothing to be hidden about, and you can just think of delivering solution with respect to your differentiators while considering the competitors. You have to keep reading articles. You have to keep attending conferences where they are coming up with their own pitches. So you have to study all those things.
Have you heard about this company called as Clay, I believe?
No,
I think
unfortunately, no.
it's a competitor research kind of company. I'm not sure exactly the agenda motive, but I think it does the competitor research. So let's say if I have a product and I want to see how many companies are doing something similar, how do I be the differentiator? Then I think this company help in that. Also, an ironic
That's interesting.
situation that I've observed in AI companies, especially, is that most of the AI companies that are building AI solution like chatbots, let's say, have human support behind that, behind themselves. I mean, I've used multiple AI tools, and every time I get to the customer support, there's a real human sitting behind those chatbots. So it's not always the
Acha, you're talking about that famous company, right? The one which Microsoft had invested, and then basically they
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
I don't remember the
yeah.
name of that company,
even
but
I
it was a
also don't
huge
remember,
scam.
but
It
I
was an
do
Indian
remember the
company only, some
situation.
Indian company.
So it
Yeah, it was
Correct, correct.
UK
Where they
based
were
company, and
UK
yeah,
based company, yeah.
So, for example, if I run an AI company that is building chatbot, and I myself am not using any AI chatbot for my company, is this so ironic? Because how do enterprises deal with these type of things? I mean, let's say you are someone, for example, you work at IBM, and IBM is building some chatbot for any client. but at the end, when that client is interacting with IBM, they are not utilizing any chatbot. They are dealing with real humans, right? What do you think of this
Okay.
scenario? Because in that case, at one
Uh,
way, we are trying to promote, we are not exactly promote, but we are utilizing human interaction, but offering an automation kind of.
okay. Fortunately for my organization, it is not like that. I believe that for most of the organization, they would experiment some sort of basic AI products at least.
Okay.
But again, even if even if IBM did not have any sort of AI assistant, let's assume that there is a human interaction present. Still, selling a product or selling a solution is very different than what I have in my building. Say, for example, I'm building some sort of a 10 floor or say 50 floor high rise building, and if I'm sitting in a say a very basic duplex, that should not determine my capability whether I can build that 50 story high building or not. So
Right.
deliver a solution and using the same solution in your premises may not be correlated.